The episode starts with Klein accepting Smith's card and heads to a bar, risking exposure to unravel the mysteries. He uses a code. The bartender asks who sent him, naming Smith. Klein is directed to a lift, leading to a security company office. He meets clerk Rosen, who recognizes him and takes him to a secret Beyonder base. There, Klein meets Leonard and learns that Beyonder's work has increased. Rosen explains different Beyonder types before sending him to Captain Smith. Klein enters Smith's room, announcing his decision to become a Beyonder. Smith recruits him into the police's Special Operations Department. Klein questions the security company facade. Smith reveals it's a front for the Church of the Evernight Goddess, handling supernatural incidents. He warns Klein that becoming a Nighthawk risks losing control. Smith takes him to a graveyard, showing him the graves of colleagues who went out of control and died. Smith asks Klein about the myth of creation. Klein recounts a creator rising from destruction, forming light, sun, moon, land, stars, phoenixes from hair, and demonic wolves from ears. Smith explains their shared origin, noting humans can create potions from mystical items to gain powers, reaffirming the 22 pathways, as the Hanged Man also told Klein. Smith informs Klein that the Church of Evernight Goddess uses for sequence 9 potions: the Sleepless Pathway, Complete Sleep; the Corpse Collector, Self-Defense; and Mystery Prior, or Seer, Mysterious Abilities. The latter 2 aren't for fighting. The Church only has the Seer Pathways, Sequence 9 potion. Klein must decide and meet Old Neil for guidance. Klein leaves, considering his options. He needs knowledge of mysteries, ruling out Sleepless and Corpse Collector. He's left with Mystery, Prior, and Seer, needing to choose the better. He finds Neil in the alchemy room, performing experiments. Neil tells him to sort documents before choosing his sequence, observing him. Neil mentions decoding Emperor Rosel's book for a long time. Notebooks went missing after Rosel's death. Rosel's book contains strange symbols with hidden powers, but no one has fully decoded it for 150 years. Neil's decoding suggests it's Rosel's diary. Klein instantly recognizes the Chinese script, which is from Earth, not understood by anyone. Here, Klein reads, discovering potion information, hoping it could lead him home. Rosel wrote that the Seer and the Marauder were good choices, which Klein doesn't understand. Neil brings Klein back to reality. Klein tells Neil he was trying to decode the diary. Neil laughs, finding it impossible. Neil asks about his potion choice. Following Rosel's diary, Klein chooses the Seer pathway. Neil stresses it's a permanent choice. Klein assures him, and Neil begins potion creation, mixing materials with a machine. Klein is nervous. Neil reassures him, saying hesitation hinders absorption. Klein drinks the potion. His body changes. Everything blurs. Neil tells him to focus on a common object. Klein thinks of a hat. Neil then tells him to think of an object that doesn't exist in this world. Klein thinks of earth objects, making the room tremble. Neil instructs him to control his spirituality and imagination. Klein thinks of more things, causing more tremors. Darkness engulfs him, then a light gathers and shatters. Klein's eyes open, and he sees an aura. Neil congratulates him on becoming a seer, explaining he's using his spirit vision to see health conditions. Klein sees 2 eyes and tells Neil. Neil dismisses them as ritualistic, magical representations. Klein's head hurts. Neil explains prolonged spirit vision use affects spirituality and causes illusions. To turn it off, he must tap between his eyebrows twice. Klein taps, and his spirit vision deactivates. Neil adds he can also use his spirituality. For divination arts, Neil gives Klein demon hunting bullets. Klein meets Smith, who is already informed by Neil about Klein's successful power use. Smith tells Klein he'll be a clerk before becoming an official Nighthawk, advancing his salary. He tells Klein to buy a cane for his daily tasks. As Klein leaves, Leonard takes him in a carriage, reporting a boy's kidnapping. Klein asks why Beyonders are doing this. Leonard explains they're a security company for the public, and the boy's father is an old customer. Leonard gives Klein the boy's belongings and tells him to use his seer power to find him. Klein uses his dowsing rod and activates his spirit vision. Finding the place where the boy, Elliot, disappeared and detecting his presence, Klein guides the carriage with his dowsing rod, leading them to a house. He finds the room where Elliot is held, sensing 2 kidnappers with spirit vision. Leonard breaks down the door and stylishly subdues the kidnappers. Klein frees Elliot. An invisible wing appears, shattering, causing the kidnappers to behave strangely. Leonard and Klein realize they're turning into monsters. They merge into one monster. Leonard tries to fight it, but it disappears. Klein can't find it. Klein uses his rod to detect the monster. As it attacks, Klein points his gun, hesitating briefly before firing for the first time. The monster flees outside. Leonard takes it into his realm and puts it to sleep. Klein feels he's been to that place before. After returning the boy to his father, they investigate the area. Leonard tells Klein he likes him, which scares Klein. Making him leave, Leonard talks to someone who observed Klein, finding him not special. Klein returns home, but suddenly finds himself back at the mansion he just left, in the room where he felt he'd been before. He sees a book stating everyone will die, and then the Fool card appears. He wakes in his room, realizing the family notebook clue is near the kidnapping site. Klein and Melissa have moved to a new house. Benson visits, surprised by the new home. Klein feeds them his cooking. Benson gifts Klein new clothes for his job, making Klein happy. Wearing them, he thanks his siblings, seeing his parents in them. The episode ends.